use immediately in the workplace. At GSE, we train in areas that actually move the needle financially, skills that employers pay for and entrepreneurs use to build income. Here are a few of the core tracks we teach: coding and development, Python, build real projects, learn automation, and develop job ready programming skills. AI for business. Learn how to use modern AI tools to create content, build funnels, automate workflows, and increase profit. Food truck entrepreneurship. Learn how to plan, price, design, and launch a food truck business the smart way. Audio/video engineering. Learn the skills behind live streaming, recording, editing, and production for real environments. And the goal is always the same: skill plus application equals transformation. GSE is for the person starting over, the person tired of living check to check, the person who knows they're gifted but needs structure, the person who's ready to stop watching other people win and start building. Whether you're in Texas, somewhere else in the US, or across the world, our cohorts are online, which means your location doesn't disqualify you. If you can learn, apply, and stay consistent, you belong here. What makes GSE different isn't just the classes, it's the culture. We don't hand out participation certificates. We believe in earned excellence. We build students who can actually do something, not just talk about it. This is a place where you get challenged, supported, and equipped. If you want to enroll, apply for a scholarship, or learn more, go to the GSE website and fill out the application. This is your sign to step in. And if you're here because you heard about scholarships, yes, we do scholarship opportunities, and we're always looking for students who are serious. All right, class is about to begin. Subscribe, like, and share. Apply on the GSE website. Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, where excellence begins. Let's get into today's class. What if the next 12 months could completely change your income, your skills, and your confidence without student debt? Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, GSE, where excellence begins. If you're watching this right now, you're in the right place. This live stream is part of what we do at GSE: real teaching, real skills, and real-world training that helps you grow. So before class begins, do 3 quick things for me. Subscribe to this channel, like this stream, and share it with one person who's trying to level up. GSE is a skill-based technical school built for everyday people. People with jobs, families, responsibilities, and big dreams. Our mission is simple: to bring what feels like an insurmountably expensive education to the everyday person at affordable rates, with zero debt. And to graduate students who are day one ready. That means when you finish here, you're holding skills you can use immediately in the workplace. At GSE, we train in areas that actually move the needle financially, skills that employers pay for and entrepreneurs use to build income. Here are a few of the core tracks we teach: coding and development, Python, build real projects, learn automation, and develop job-ready programming skills. AI for business. Learn how to use modern AI tools to create content, build funnels, automate workflows, and increase profit. Food truck entrepreneurship. Learn how to plan, price, design, and launch a food truck business the smart way. Audio/video engineering. Learn the skills behind live streaming, recording, editing, and production for real environments. And the goal is always the same: skill plus application equals transformation. GSE is for the person starting over, the person tired of living check to check, the person who knows they're gifted but needs structure, the person who's ready to stop watching other people win and start building. Whether you're in Texas, somewhere else in the US, or across the world, our cohorts are online, which means your location doesn't disqualify you. If you can learn, apply, and stay consistent, you belong here. What makes GSE different isn't just the classes, it's the culture. We don't hand out participation certificates. We believe in earned excellence. We build students who can actually do something, not just talk about it. This is a place where you get challenged, supported, and equipped. If you want to enroll, apply for a scholarship, or learn more, go to the GSE website and fill out the application. This is your sign to step in. And if you're here because you heard about scholarships, yes, we do scholarship opportunities, and we're always looking for students who are serious. All right, class is about to begin. Subscribe, like, and share. Apply on the GSE website. Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, where excellence begins. Let's get into today's class. What if the next 12 months could completely change your income, your skills, and your confidence without student debt? Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, GSE, where excellence begins. If you're watching this right now, you're in the right place. This live stream is part of what we do at GSE: real teaching, real skills, and real world training that helps you grow. So before class begins, do three quick things for me. Subscribe to this channel, like this stream, and share it with one person who's trying to level up. GSE is a skill-based technical school built for everyday people, people with jobs, families, responsibilities, and big dreams. Our mission is simple: to bring what feels like an insurmountably expensive education to the everyday person at affordable rates with zero debt, and to graduate students who are day one ready. That means when you finish here, you're holding skills you can use immediately in the workplace. At GSE, we train in areas that actually move the needle financially, skills that employers pay for and entrepreneurs use to build income. Here are a few of the core tracks we teach: coding and development, Python; build real projects, learn automation, and develop job-ready programming skills. AI for business. Learn how to use modern AI tools to create content, build funnels, automate workflows, and increase profit. Food truck entrepreneurship. Learn how to plan, price, design, and launch a food truck business the smart way. Audio/video engineering. Learn the skills behind live streaming, recording, editing, and production for real environments. And the goal is always the same: skill plus application equals transformation. GSE is for the person starting over, the person tired of living check to check, the person who knows they're gifted but needs structure, the person who's ready to stop watching other people win and start building. Whether you're in Texas, somewhere else in the US, or across the world, our cohorts are online, which means your location doesn't disqualify you. If you can learn, apply, and stay consistent, you belong here. What makes GSE different isn't just the classes, it's the culture. We don't hand out participation certificates. We believe in earned excellence. We build students who can actually do something, not just talk about it. This is a place where you get challenged, supported, and equipped. If you want to enroll, apply for a scholarship, or learn more, go to the GSE website and fill out the application. This is your sign to step in. And if you're here because you heard about scholarships, yes, we do scholarship opportunities, and we're always looking for students who are serious. All right, class is about to begin. Subscribe, like, and share. Apply on the GSE website. Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, where excellence begins. Let's get into today's class. What if the next 12 months could completely change your income, your skills, and your confidence without student debt? Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, GSE, where excellence begins. If you're watching this right now, you're in the right place. This live stream is part of what we do at GSE: real teaching, real skills, and real world training that helps you grow. So before class begins, do three quick things for me. Subscribe to this channel, like this stream, and share it with one person who's trying to level up. GSE is a skill-based technical school built for everyday people, people with jobs, families, responsibilities, and big dreams. Our mission is simple: to bring what feels like an insurmountably expensive education to the everyday person at affordable rates with zero debt, and to graduate students who are day one ready. That means when you finish here, you're holding skills you can use immediately in the workplace. At GSE, we train in areas that actually move the needle financially, skills that employers pay for and entrepreneurs use to build income. Here are a few of the core tracks we teach: coding and development, Python; build real projects, learn automation, and develop job-ready programming skills. AI for business. Learn how to use modern AI tools to create content, build funnels, automate workflows, and increase profit. Food truck entrepreneurship. Learn how to plan, price, design, and launch a food truck business the smart way. Audio/video engineering. Learn the skills behind live streaming, recording, editing, and production for real environments. And the goal is always the same: skill plus application equals transformation. GSE is for the person starting over, the person tired of living check to check, the person who knows they're gifted but needs structure, the person who's ready to stop watching other people win and start building. Whether you're in Texas, somewhere else in the US, or across the world, our cohorts are online, which means your location doesn't disqualify you. If you can learn, apply, and stay consistent, you belong here. What makes GSE different isn't just the classes, it's the culture. We don't hand out participation certificates. We believe in earned excellence. We build students who can actually do something, not just talk about it. This is a place where you get challenged, supported, and equipped. If you want to enroll, apply for a scholarship, or learn more, go to the GSE website and fill out the application. This is your sign to step in. And if you're here because you heard about scholarships, yes, we do scholarship opportunities, and we're always looking for students who are serious. All right, class is about to begin. Subscribe, like, and share. Apply on the GSE website. Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, where excellence begins. Let's get into today's class.
Hey. Let's see if y'all can hear me. Hey. How is everybody doing? Go ahead and put your name in the chat so that I can see you. So good I see you, Jada. Go ahead and throw your name in the chat. It says Pro Tools, but that's AVE course after this one. For Food Truck Entrepreneurship, we're going to be doing exam review. Other courses have already taken their semester exam, and we're going to prep for ours to take ours. So we're going to review a lot of the initial slides, and if you see me looking over, it's because I'm looking over at the screen. We like the exam questions and stuff like that. So we're going to be doing some exam prep. Make sure you drop your name in, so I can know who's here, so I can, let me go ahead and do a quick roll call here. Because I always forget to put it in. All right, I see you, Francisco. See you, Jada. Go ahead and drop your name in. All righty, I got you. If somebody pops in, let me know so I can update it. All righty. So we got a great, let me adjust this. There we go. That's a little better. Boom. So are we excited or what about our exam? We get to do some reviewing and going over just a little bit of everything. All of the initial slides, and all of the new stuff. So I'm really excited to be just sharing this stuff with you. And so let's go ahead and hop right on in. So let's see if we can do this here. All righty. Will this work? Boom. All right. So it looks like it's cutting the screen off a little bit. I'm not really sure why. There we go. Jada says she is very excited. That's that enthusiasm right there. Boom. All right. All right, lock that in. So we got one person that is super excited. That's good. Somebody's excited. Get a chance to test your knowledge, right? All right. So if you guys remember from like the first day of class, these slides, and then we'll after the break we'll get into some new slides. And if there's time, we might do the exam today. So depending on how far we get, we may even do the exam today instead of next week. So let's see. We're going to see. Okay. All righty. All right. Boom. Let's go. All righty. So the stuff may or may not be on the exam. We'll see. But here's some reasons to buy a food truck. When I say food truck, it's food trailer. You see the food trailers in the back. Actually, and it applies to food truck, food trailer, but I call them all food trucks. But I actually recommend the food trailers over the food trucks for various different reasons. And I don't know if I put them in the slides because I call them all food trucks because I've built and sold both. But the food trailers I like because if the food truck, so yeah, this is a car, right? So you have an engine problem, you have to put your food truck in the shop. Well, if it's in a shop with an engine problem, oil drop problem, transmission problem, muffler problem, well, that's your business. So if it's in a shop for 2 weeks, that's, what, $6,000 worth of money you've missed or whatever. If you had a big party or a wedding or whatever that you've had to try to work out of a commissary or hand the job to someone else to do because you're unable to do it. For that reason, I always lean toward the food trailers, which I call them all food trucks. But for this point, making a delineation between a truck and a trailer with the food trailer, because worst case scenario, if your actual truck that you're pulling the trailer with gets sick, you can put it in the mechanic hospital, and when it comes out, you're good. But while it's in the mechanic hospital, you can just go to U-Haul for $20 a day or $30 a day or whatever, rent you a U-Haul or rent you a pickup truck from U-Haul and keep making money. Your business doesn't shut down just because, your truck got sick. So that's why I like the food trailers over the food trucks, just because it don't stop. Business doesn't shut down. You don't have to cancel parties or do something crazy just because the truck broke. Okay. All right, so reasons to buy a food truck. One is the hours. Go ahead and type hours in the chat. Hours. You get to choose the hours you work. You get to, say, hey, I'm going to work. I got to pick the kids up drop the kids off at school at 8, so I can't really work the typical 8 to 5 job. They got the song 9 to 5, but normally on job, they want you there at 8, right? Or earlier if you're a nurse or something. So just like this is a little rough for me to make these hours. So what am I going to do? It allows you to say, all right, well, I'm gonna work the lunch rush at 11, and I'm gonna work the lunch rush 11 to 6 or whatever, or however. You get to manipulate your schedule is what I'm saying. You get to work on, if you have to miss a Tuesday, you get to work on Saturdays, however. So you get to kind of craft your hours in that way. Now, don't think being an entrepreneur is easier. It's not. You don't be like, well, I'm gonna work 2 hours a day and then I'm good. It doesn't work that way. You're not gonna work 2 hours a day and make $1 million and be fine. You're gonna have to put in the time, put in the effort to really make this work in a major way. So go ahead and put hours in the chat. Go ahead and type that in. Hours. Next is days. Type days in the chat. And you're going to be typing a lot because I want to make sure that you're with me and interactive, and you're not just cooking and putting the phone down or something. Treat this like you're in class. You're here to learn. You're here to grow. So we're going to have a lot of interactivity. Okay. So days, you get to decide the days you work. That kind of goes along with hours. Locations. You get to work from any location, and the freedom is if you and your family wanted to move to Minnesota, or if you wanted to move to Alaska, or you wanted to move to wherever, New York City or wherever, you get to, just move there because your business is mobile. You have a mobile business. So you don't have to worry about, I'm stuck at this job, and if this job doesn't have a location where I'm moving to, then I'm out of a job. So you get to decide that stuff. Forgive me, I'm multitasking. I'm creating you guys' test by the same time. So you get to choose hours, days, and locations. Another benefit. Work less for the same pay. So we're not talking about making more pay. I want to make this really, really clear distinction. We're not talking about the same pay. We're talking about less pay. Work less hours for the same pay. Not talking about making $1 million and more pay. We're talking about working less for the same pay. So if you make X amount of dollars an hour and you're saying, I want to just make that amount of money, but I want to work 3 days a week, there's a lot of people that are doing that. They're working, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they're able to make what they need for the week working those days, or working 4 days a week versus 5-6 days a week for a traditional job. So if you're just saying, hey, I'm not trying to be a millionaire, I'm not trying to do, $3,000 a day or whatever, or even $2,000 a day or $1,000 a day, I'm trying to do $500 a day, $400 a day, and be out. $300 a day. And then I'm just trying to have a certain type of life because I value my time more than money. At $300 a day, if you have a 24% food costs, just say 25% to make it easy. That's $75 in food costs, and just say $25 in fuel to go out. And if you're, the only person working the truck, then you don't have another person to pay. So you make $200 a day. If you work 5 days a week, you made $1,000 a week. And if you can live off that, like, hey man, I can live off $1,000 a week, $52,000 a year. Totally fine with that, right? And then that means you don't have to work a lot. $300 if you're selling an item that's $20. Say you're selling whatever gumbo and it's $20, or say you're selling an item that's $15. All you have to do is sell 20 of them. That's $300. So that's a lunch rush, easy, right? So you work the lunch rush from 11 to 4, or 11 to 3, or 10 to 2, or whatever, and you sell your 20 plates. It's 5 plates an hour if you're working for 4 hours. And hopefully you can easily do 5 plates an hour, or 5 dishes an hour. So now you make $300 and you're out, right? So you're able to work less for the same pay. Now, if we're going to be ambitious and really run it like a business, you're going to be working more than your traditional 9-to-5 job or 8-to-5 job, because you're going to be, cleaning, prepping, cooking. You're not trying to sell 20 dishes. You're trying to sell, 80 dishes, right? You're trying to really, really, really multiply. Maybe you're trying to franchise. Maybe you're trying to open up multiple locations, right? So it's a lot more that goes into it. When you run your own business, you normally end up working more, at least in the beginning, to get it off the ground. So decide when you work. You also decide when you play. Like, you get to set, it just goes into the same hand. You get to set your vacation days, time off for the kids, ability. Number 3, you have the ability to create jobs. This is one of my favorite things, is ability to create jobs. Ability to create jobs. That's so huge. To say, you know what? I'm going to create a job. I'm going to, you know, be able to offer work to someone else. I'm going to be able to offer work to, um, another person. I'm going to be able to build up somebody else's family. I'm be able to, be able to employ people to get them in a better position, get them a job they need to be able to put money in their pocket. One of the beautiful things about being an entrepreneur is the ability to pass that wealth on to someone else. It's a huge and amazing benefit of entrepreneurship. And of course, the ability to create wealth, to be able to create wealth for your family, create wealth for yourself. Okay. Also, guys, make sure you drop your real names in the chat. All righty, so I know who you are. Okay. So continuing on with our test preparation, and like I said, if we have ability, we're gonna start. We'll actually take our test today. A lot of other classes have already taken their tests, but we'll go in today and take ours if we finish all of the exam prep. Okay. Food truck versus brick and mortar. Okay. Number one, the entry cost, the barrier to entry. So the barrier to entry is remarkably, type that in the chat, remarkably lower. If you don't know how to spell remarkably, just put a lot lower. I got you, Amberley. I got you, Margaret. Okay. So a lot lower. So type that in. Cost of entry, a barrier to entry, is a lot lower. Like I said, you're going to be typing a lot in the chat. I want to make sure that you're with me and that you're tracking. Barrier to entry for a brick and mortar business is remarkably high. I've worked with a lot of businesses, and you guys kind of know my track record, from Popeyes to Chick-fil-A to wing places to you name it. I've worked to help build them, help to work them grow. My wife's uncle launched a wing business, and I mean, you could easily be paying $6,000 a month, $8,000 a month just in rent. Then you need cooks because you can't cook, work the cash register, and work the tables. So now you're looking at a bare minimum of, if you pay someone even $30,000 a year, you pay the dishwasher $30,000, and then the person and that's not a lot, right? That's teens per hour, right? So same with the person at the front desk, same with the person, you have some people waiting tables. Now you're at $15,000, $20,000 a month just to run your business with a minimal staff, right? So if I'm running with a bare minimal staff, and I'm at $12,000 a month, I got to sell a lot of wings, or a lot of chicken, or a lot of whatever seafood to just break even. So the barrier to entry as far as cost is humongous. Is why a lot of restaurants close. Most restaurants close. Well, most businesses close in general. It's just not restaurants, but it's hard to make it in the restaurant business just for that reason. Because it's very competitive. Because it's so, the barrier to entry is so high. Okay, so with a food truck, what you'd pay in 4 or 5 months just to run your business, you've already paid off your food truck, and the cost is remarkably lower. Your food truck bill for like an $80,000 food truck is probably $2,000 or less a month, much lower than the cost of a building, and then you'll have it paid off eventually, and that you won't even have that cost anymore, right? It'd be like a car. You have it paid off in X amount of years, and 4 or 5 years, and you're done. And then you can run you can't really run a restaurant solo dolo with one person, but you absolutely can run a food truck with one person if you had to. I've been to many, many food trucks with great food and great service, and it's running one person, especially as, if you're just opening up and you're just launching, you can easily take the orders, do the food. I've seen it a million times. And then if you grow, you get really busy, you can have somebody that takes the orders, one person taking the orders, and then 1 or 2 people cooking. I've seen that too, and it's remarkably effective. So you can run a food truck with a staff of 1 to 3, where you can't run a restaurant really. Even a hole in the wall would be rough to run a restaurant with, 1 to 3 people. So the barrier to entry as far as cost is remarkably low. So 50 to 100K versus 50 to 100K. So we're talking about the total cost of like buying a food truck, buying your equipment, getting set up, getting all of your license, being 50 to 100K total versus monthly. It's a big, big difference. Training costs, just because it's simpler to run a food truck, you're not training on 9,000 different things like in a restaurant. You don't have all of the monthly requirements that a restaurant has. Staffing requirements is just going to be a lot lower. Maintenance costs are going to be a lot lower. Taxes on a food truck are going to be a lot less than taxes on a building. If you own it, if you're doing like triple net or something, all of that stuff is going to be bundled in, jacking your monthly cost up. Well, of course, staffing, rent. And another thing is you can rent a food trailer, but I always recommend just buy one because it's so cheap. Why rent one for, $800 to $1,000 a month when you can buy one for $1,000 to $2,000 a month and just own it. And if you don't like the business, then you can sell yours and get some of your money back. Now you're not going to get a lot back. If you bought a food truck for say $60,000, when you sell it, you're going to have to probably sell it for at least $30,000, but you're going to get probably half of your money back. So franchise and growth, you can franchise just like with a brick and mortar. You can franchise your restaurant. Wing It, who spoke at the orientation, he has multiple wing places, and he does these sip it, I guess, daiquiri places, and he's making money that way as well. And he's been able to franchise. So from the business standpoint of franchising, that works. Another thing is, we talked about, how cities move. There's areas that gentrify, there's areas that go down and people move out. So you have it both ways, right? You have development where things are being built up. You have areas where people are tearing stuff down and building warehouses, right? So if you own a brick and mortar, and over time, over 10 years, the area goes up, then you're wonderful. But if the area goes down, then you're stuck because you're sitting on an asset, maybe $1 million building that nobody wants to buy because the area is going down. So what do? It's going to be hard to move your business, right? But if it's a food truck, you literally just go park somewhere else. If there's a big fair in town, you park by the fair and you just make a killing, right? If there's a big event in town, you park by the event, you just make a killing. NASCAR comes. I remember doing NASCAR for a business, doing sales when I was younger. NASCAR come. We went to NASCAR and just made ridiculous. We weren't selling food. It wasn't a food truck. I was young, but we were selling merchandise. The amount of money we made was ridiculous. And so the beauty being to be able to move it wherever you want to go, and that's huge. Okay, so I don't think anybody here is considering building their own, but we want to cover it. So, should I build my own food truck? Cost versus time? My goodness, my answer is 100% always never build your own food truck. I don't know if I've ever, in years and years and years of advising restaurants and building and manufacturing food trucks, I don't know if I've ever seen that work out for anybody. I just haven't. I've never seen that work out for anybody. Normally it takes them forever. Normally it takes them forever to build it, year, 2 years, 3 years, and a lot of projects are just halfway done. And then sometimes they just come in and they just buy a food truck anyway. So normally save money building it yourself, but you lose 1 to 2 years. And this is always my stance on building your own, is that if you lose 1 to 2 years, and you save 20%, say it's, 40 grand was what it costs to buy one, or 50 grand, however you want to lay it out. And you save, 20% building yourself. So what's 20% of 50 grand? That's $10,000, right? So you save $10,000, but it takes you 2 years to build it yourself. Well, man, you made that $10,000 in a couple months if you just had bought one and opened up over those 2 years. So say you bought one and you was able to pick it up in 6 months, right? Fully loaded, all tricked out, everything is good with it, right? Or less, 4 months. Then now you have the remainder of that year, 8 months, and then the whole next year, 12 months, and then you have 20 months. Do you think you're gonna make 20 grand or 10 grand in 20 months? Go ahead and type it in the chat. What you think? What's your opinion? Do you think you're going to make 20 grand in 10 months? Go ahead and type it in. Well, I'm going to help you out. Probably. And I mean, and not even trying. In 20 months, you're going to make a whole lot more than 10 grand. And that's if you barely open. That's if you open 2 days a week, 3 days a week for 4 hours, and you park in not even the best spot in the world, but just a halfway decent spot. And you're just doing not even $500 a day, right? You're doing $300 a day. Well, guess what? In 10 days, that's 3 grand, right? In 10 days. So in 1 month, you made 9 grand. So yeah, so that 10 grand that you saved over 2 years of building, 1 to 2 years, you would have done that your first month. So yeah, normally never. I've just talked to a lot of people that come in, man, I started building and this, and normally they're just a bunch of halfway done projects. Unless you're a professional builder, you're normally not finishing that build. One thing I've learned about building is it always costs you more than you thought and takes you longer than you thought. Building anything, not just food truck, like a house or anything, normally costs you more than you thought and takes you longer than you thought. It's very, very rare, very, very rare that you come in under cost and under budget, or under budget and under time. It's just very rare with doing anything as far as building wise. Normally downtime for home built is higher because it's kind of home built and it's not as sturdy, not as stable, not built by professionals. So your maintenance costs are normally higher and your downtime as well. So if you have 2 to 3 months to like quit your job, all the money in your hand, know exactly what you're doing, then it's probably a great idea. You have all of the money on hand. You've done exactly what you needed. You've maybe built something before in the past. Maybe you work for a builder and you know exactly how to build it. You know where to get the parts from. You know the regulations for everything to make sure you're building with regulation. And it's probably a great idea. If that is not you, then probably not. And probably not the greatest idea. Okay. So how much do food trucks really make? Average income, according to Foodie, is $250,000 to $500,000. According to mobilecuisine.com, $290,000, $556,000. So those are average income according to Foodie and Mobile Cuisine. Average per order ticket. Now this is $12.40, but this is older. The average ticket now, I know it's going up to probably about $15. So your average ticket now is going to be about $15. And of course, depending on what you're selling, tickets may vary. All right. So food costs, you normally want to keep your food costs 24 to 26% if you want to stay in business. If your food costs are high, you're eating up profits, or you're eating up revenue that you need to cover expenses. So if you have food costs 35, 40%, 40% of every dollar is going strictly to your food, And then you're trying to pay all of the other bills off of the remaining 60 and then still have enough meat on the bone, as they say, to pay yourself. It's going to be really, really rough. You really want to get good at keeping food costs to 24 to 26%, which is why all of these coffee places are doing so great. 12% food costs. Some cases, 8%. It's crazy. But 12% food costs. You sell a $5 cup of coffee, and it costs you, 50 cents to make it? 55 cents with a cup. That's amore. So yeah, you got fountain drinks at 80%. It's this is beverage cost here. It's like if you had a fountain and a soda machine. But fountain drinks. So anyway, a lot of times you're doing great on. That's why you always want to sell drinks. That's why people started bundling things together. Before they ask you, do you want fries with that? You go buy a burger. Would you like a drink with that? Would you like fries with that? And somebody realized, like, hey, our money is coming from the drinks and the fries. That's from the side items. That's where the margin is, not in the burger that we're selling for $3, $4. Let's make a combo deal where we include it as a package and sell it as a package, because we make more money and we get the margin from the drinks and the fries. It just makes great sense. And now everybody gets a ton more carbs from the fries and a ton more sugar from the drinks. So it's not healthy for for folks, but it's profitable for the business. Okay. And for a good concession trailer, I've never sold a $200,000 trailer. They exist. I think the most expensive trailer I ever sold was like $120,000. But for a big trailer, 20 foot or more, totally loaded out, you're probably looking at 65 to 200,000. But I have sold trailers as low as 15 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand that were really, really great, very specific coffee trailers, ice cream trailers. I've built. So talking about multiple locations, type that in, multiple locations. I see you, Jade. I see you, Celeste. I'm checking the comments. I want to see where you guys are. Type in multiple locations. Make sure you're participating here. All right, multiple locations. So I got a chance to work with a guy named Al, and I forget where Al was from, maybe Austin, or I know they drove down, and I built him I modified, I think, one of his trailers, food trucks, and I built him 2 or 3 more. And he was such a sweet guy, and he'd bring his father down, and it was great. They were just great, great folks, all the Earth people. I absolutely loved working with them. I truly, truly enjoyed working with them. And they had multiple locations. I worked with a dentist. I think his brother and his dad would buy multiple locations. Now, he's a dentist, but they would open up all of these food trucks everywhere. Really, really cool. All right. So build wealth without running a truck. Think CEO, not chef. And that's one of the things that we talk about in this course 100% of the time. Think CEO, not chef. Think CEO, not chef. If you think chef, you're gonna have a hard time. So always think CEO. Don't think chef. Think CEO. I need to run multiple locations. So think CEO, not chef. So one great way to do that is building multiple locations, saying, hey, I need to franchise out. We talked about, Wing It and them branching out. And then I forget what type of food Al was selling, but he did really, really great. And he was branching out. And actually, I don't think it was Austin. I think he was further away. I think it was a big drive. So build wealth without running a truck, multiple streams of income. So you can still run a truck. I knew that I built this seafood truck, and they make a ton of money. Seafood is $1 million right now. I was like, my goodness, how is crawfish? I know I'm from Louisiana. How is crawfish so expensive? This is utterly ridiculous that crawfish is this expensive, or crab legs or anything. It's just this. But seafood is, and the margins in them, they're making a killing. This guy would buy I don't know if it's a business called King Crab or Crawfish King or King of the Sea or something. I forget. But I mean, they were just doing and they franchised Houston. They were everywhere. It was just really beautiful to watch them just grow, just like weeds. And but he still ran his own truck, so I'm sure after a while you could just sit back and let all of your locations just build you money. There's a seafood place, a seafood truck downtown that I like to order from, and the guy doesn't run it. He doesn't even live in San Antonio. And he just has these trucks everywhere over in different cities, and he just makes money from there. So, yeah, it allows you to kind of think. Somebody said that my favorite place is Crab Kings. Have I been to Crab Kings? It may have been Crab Kings. It was something may have been Crab Kings. But it was something with King in it. But, yeah, if that was it, I don't know if I've eaten at Crab Kings, but I think we may have built some of their food trucks. So yeah, another thing is increased revenue. Jada says she likes Mr. Krabby's. It's Universal City, great food. My son likes it. I don't know if I've ever been. My son was telling me about that place, Mr. Krabby's. I have to still check it out. But yeah, seafood is great margins. Oh, so many great margins in seafood. So yes, increase revenue without increasing your hours. That's I don't know if you get better than that. It's kind of why there's not one Walmart but a million, not just one Target but a million, not one Valero gas station but a million. The more places you open up, the more potential revenue you have. So how to grow to 2 or more? Have have menu staples, and I covered this very, very heavily before. Do not try to be mediocre at 50 things. And I'll just be super bluntly honest with you. You will not be known for 500 things. You're just not. You're not going to be known for 500 things. No one is. No one is. You don't go to Chick-fil-A and go, man, I love their gumbo. You don't go to Popeyes and go, oh my goodness, the filet mignon at this place, right? People wait outside the lines at Cafe Du Monde, and they're not going, man, I really, really love their soup and their their bisque or whatever, right? They don't go to McDonald's and go, man, great brisket. It's you go someplace because they're great at something. Chick-fil-A is great at chicken, right? Fogo de Chao is a great Brazilian, but Texas de Brazil, I kind of like them a little better. Texas de Brazil and Fogo de Chao is good, but Texas de Brazil, great at what they do. Great at Brazilian, that all you could eat type of food. Lamb and beef and all of this stuff. They're just great at it, right? And Fogo de Chao is great at that stuff too, right? They're known for being a Brazilian steakhouse, and they're known for one thing. Popeyes is known for one thing, right? Nola is known for one thing, the restaurant. Bourbon Street is known for one thing. Silo, one more little upscale date night. They're known for one thing, right? So you probably won't be known for 900 things. And so building out these massive menus normally hurts you, doesn't help you. I would tell you, versus having 20 items on your menu, have 10 that you slam. Don't if you taste it and you go, oh, this is good, I'll put it on your menu. Don't do it. Don't kill your business, please. Don't kill your business. If you taste and go, man, this is great. This is the best cornbread I've ever had in my life. This is the best soup I've ever had in my life. This is the best whatever I've ever had in my life. Put that on the menu. And it's better to have 5 things that when someone tastes it, they go, whoa, wow, whoa. Because they'll come back. They'll tell friends for whoa. They won't tell friends for, it was good. There's a lot of good food. But you want some staples that are just like slap you in the face great. Because people will tell their friends about it. They'll get excited about it. Oh, this is the best tomato soup you've ever had. Or this is the best whatever you've ever had. but they're not going to tell people about this is a good one. It's like, well, I can make a good one. I can go to over here and they have a good one too. No, you want to have a great one. So I will always say condense the menu to things that are incredible. No one comes to a place for a large variety. No one ever goes somewhere. Someone says, oh, but I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell. Someone comes to my truck or come to my restaurant, because restaurants will fail to do this too. I'm going to have everything that they could possibly want when they sit down. And that's great. They can sit down and have 50 different mediocre items, because it's not going to be great. And if you try to multiply your restaurant, are you going to teach someone else to make 50 different items? No. Even if you were great, you're not going to be able to multiply and find a chef that can cook 50 things very, very well. Right? So what you want to do is become really, 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 really good at cooking what you cook and keeping it simple. McDonald's tried to make grits in Louisiana and it didn't last long. All right? So get really, really great at what you're really, really great at and leave it there. Matter of fact, go ahead in the chat, type what you're great at cooking. Go ahead and put that in the chat. Something that you're great at cooking. Not good, but absolutely great. Type it in the chat. Something that you're really, really great at cooking. Create very easy operations. Create and go ahead and type it in the chat. Something that you're like stupendous at making. But create very easy methods of operations. If you have really complicated processes, it's going to be very hard to train people and to keep excellence high. You can train people to do 20 things, but they're probably going to forget this one, and they may not do this one. They may not remember to do this one, or they may be in a rush to do this. Francisco says he's really great at making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, Francisco, we're going to have to get you. We're going to have to. You're going to have to hire a cook, buddy. All right. Soups. All right. Margaret says she's really great at making soups. Okay. All right. Type in there what you're really, really great at. I want to know. Okay. Jada says chicken parmesan. All right. I see you. Who else? Type in there what you're really, really great at making. All righty. But yeah, you want to create very, very easy methods. Because if they're very, very easy, say I don't have anything. All right, you're gonna have to hire a chef. Someone else that's gonna need to hire a chef. Or grab a cookbook, test out, see what you're gonna be really great at making. But create very easy methods of operation. Very, very easy methods of operation. Because if you do, it'll cut down on training time. It'll reduce error. If you have 15 steps versus 5 steps, 5 steps is going to be easier for people to remember, grab hold of, train to do excellently, versus 15 complicated process. And some things just take 15 steps, right? But try to make as many things as you can, as simple as you can to do excellently. And it helps standardize food quality when you have things that are A, B, C, D, E versus A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. It's going to be hard to train managers, hard to train staff to duplicate. So try to standardize everything, even customer service. There's a reason every Chick-fil-A says my pleasure. And I keep talking about Chick-fil-A. I don't know why they're on my mind this morning. But, it's a reason that they always say my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. They've standardized customer service. Right? When you go, and compare them to a McDonald's, right? You go to a McDonald's and they don't even talk to you. They slam the door in your face. Get out of here, you bum, right? Like, it's just different, and I'm just teasing. Some McDonald's are great, right? I try to rarely eat fast food, but I'll run through every once in a while to get the little chicken McNuggets or something to give to, I had to take the boy for a haircut, and he hadn't eaten, my 2-year-old, and right next to the haircut place was a McDonald's, so I'm not going to tell you that, what name my older boy we jokingly call McDonald's. None, it's not a nice name. But we went there and we got him some chicken nuggets, and I was friendlier than them. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they kind of closed the door as Uh, as they handed my food, they handed it. I was like, all right, thank you, and they just shut the door and walked away. It's just like, the little window. So yeah, standardized customer service. Don't be, don't do that, because then it hurts business. Now McDonald's is so large and there's so many locations that people don't go there, and then they don't go there for quality, right? If you're trying to get a good burger, you're not going to McDonald's. You're trying to get good chicken, you're not going to McDonald's, right? Normally it's next to wherever you actually want to go. So it's a place of convenience, right? And they've kind of built the name up with their fries, which used to be incredible. Now their fries aren't even really all that great anymore, if you ask me. But nonetheless, you want to have good. You can't build a business off of bad customer service. It needs to be incredible, because there's too many restaurant options. All right, so food truck versus concession trailer. You can get a concession trailer, really decked out one, for as low as 50 grand, where you're not going to do that with a food truck. You'll probably be buying the truck itself at 50 to 70 grand new. And then you have to add out you have to convert it just like you'd have to do a trailer, right? So if you buy a truck at 70 grand or, more, and then you have to spend another 35 grand converting it, your base price is going to be 100 grand. Like, so there's going to be a whatever a trailer would cost. You can almost just add 60 grand, and that's going to be how much to have it as a truck. Also, the trucks are going to kind of have some limited parking. And the trailers can be kind of difficult to maneuver as well in some tight spots. But with the trucks, they're going to be bigger, a little bigger, because of the truck section. And then some events, they want trailers. They don't want trucks. And then insurance to be different, because you're insuring a vehicle and not just a trailer. And then, of course, you got to have a licensed driver, but you got to have it either way. If you have a pickup truck, pulling your trailer, you got to have a licensed driver, so that doesn't really matter. Now, ROI is different. It's going to be easier to make 50 grand than make 150 grand, right? So just different return on investment. But if you say, hey, with the trailer, I still have to buy a pickup truck if I don't have one, then you're right. The cost is virtually the same. But I would still recommend buying a pickup truck, because some people had to buy a pickup truck when they bought their trailer. So I would definitely recommend buying a pickup truck and a trailer than buying a food truck. You buy a pickup truck and a trailer, you could actually, you grow your business. You could drop that trailer off, have somebody working it, and people have done this as they get the next trailer and they're rolling somewhere else, and they're franchising. So, well, you can't do that with a food truck. And once again, we talked about this. A food truck is a truck, where a food trailer is a trailer. Functionality is the same, but, axles, engine, transmission, everything. Well, your trailer is going to have axles, but all engine, transmission, all the maintenance that you have on a truck, you have on a food truck. And if your food truck goes to the hospital, and you don't, that's your business. And it's down, however long it's down. If you've ever had your car in the hospital for 2 or 3 days with the mechanic, or for 2 or 3 weeks like I have, it was terrible, then you're down. Yeah. All right. So we started designing floor plans, which have been absolutely great. And you guys have done a remarkable job of doing the floor plans. But one thing with floor plans, we always do our top view and side view. And let me see if I can find some of those floor plans to pull up here. You got to run where your gas lines are going to be on the plans in some states, where your water's going to be, even water lines. In some states, you got to put that down on there. I built out done some designs for different states, and you have to go kind of in detail with it. You want a 15% larger fresh water than gray water, because they don't want you to overflow your tanks. You want hot water over 100 degrees. You need a 3-compartment sink. Matter of fact, you guys take a minute and just go ahead and start dumping in, and that's 15% larger gray water than fresh water. But you gotta start dumping in some of the items that you know that you need for your food truck. So start dumping in some of the items you know you need for your food truck. Margaret says you're making everybody hungry. So go ahead and start typing in some of the items you know you need for your and type in some items that you know that you want for your food truck as well. I'm gonna be checking the comments for that. All right, 50% larger fresh water than a fryer. Celeste says a fryer. Margaret. So 50% larger gray water. I typoed here. So gray water than fresh water. That way, when you're out of water, you still have room in your gray water tank, and you're not dumping over your overflowing your dirty water all over somebody's property, or driving down the road with your tanks overflowing or something, or backing up through your pipes. Marcus says fryer, griddle, freezer, warmer. All right, there we go. So your hand wash sink, so 3-compartment sink and a hand wash sink. You need to have like your food handlers, food managers license. For you as owners, of course, food managers license. You're going to have them come out and water test. And of course, always consult your local municipality. All right, some things you're going to need as far as regulations. You got to have an answer system, or you don't necessarily need that brand. Absolutely right. Amberly says, some type of point of sale system. Yep, your hand wash sinks, prep table. Absolutely right. So you're going to need some type of fire suppression system. Doesn't necessarily need, the brand is irrelevant, but you need some type of fire suppression system. K-class fire extinguisher. When it comes to lighting, you're going to want to have, and that powder is talking about the system. So lighting, you want to have at least 50-foot candles. And yes, just like cars are still measured in horses from the horse and carriage days, lighting is still measured in candles from candle days. It's the way it is. Absolutely. Someone says storage. Margaret says propane. Yep. Emily says storage. Yep. Generator. Good one. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to have 50-foot candles, because they'll literally come out with a light meter and make sure it's bright enough. You want to have, of course, vent hood lighting, which is also required. It's food service window. I don't know how I fat fingered and put 324 inches minimum. You do not need 324. You need one there because it's considered an egress. But the size is either not going to be a size on regulation, or it'll be much, much smaller than this. So no, this is the size of your truck. So you did not need a fat finger that I probably meant to put like 24 inches and put 324 inches. But anyway, I looked up the regulation this morning and I couldn't find one with the specific inches on for the food service window. So I don't know if the law at the time was 24 inches, but I can't find one now. So you can ignore that 324. All right, but it does have to be screened in. You can't have flies flying around people's food coming in because they smell the food. And so your service window has to be screened in. Any opening has to be screened in. Okay. And once again, consult your local municipality. All right, so things to ask before you buy. What am I going to ask before I buy my food truck or trailer? You're going to ask for the total weight. How much is my trailer going to weigh? Because that's going to determine how big a truck you need, right? So hey, if it weighs 4,000 pounds, that's different than if it weighs 2,000 pounds, right? Yes, Jada says she had a 48 by 36. Is that acceptable? Absolutely. That's totally acceptable. I put tons of those, like a lot of those in. So total weight, total axle strength, 3,200, 5,000, 7,000. And this is the axle strength of your trailer, because it determines how much weight you can put in there, right? If you put in a bunch of flip skillets and heavy freezers or refrigerators or whatever, you want to know how much it weighs. I would always say, if you can, don't get the bare minimal. Try to go 5,000 or up. If you can do 7,000 torsion and pay the extra, I don't know, a couple grand or whatever, do so. So you have leaf spring, you have torsion. Leaf springs literally look like a upside down U, but torsion is better. Tongue weight, be careful not to put all of your weight in the front of the trailer, because then it's pushing everything down. If you put it all in the back of the trailer, it's trying to lift your truck up. The tongue is literally the tongue of the trailer that connects to your truck. So you want to try to evenly distribute the weight so it's not exceeding the tongue weight of your truck and not trying to lift your truck off the ground because all of the weight is in the back. All right, you want to make sure your truck has a tow package. So you want to make sure you have a tow package a tow package means you can plug your trailer into your truck, and you can do all of the things, brake systems, light systems. It adjusts for the pull of the trailer, and it's just designed for towing. It may lift itself, raise itself, all of the things that make towing a lot easier versus feeling like you're just jerking something around. And actually, the best towing that I've heard, and I don't know how you feel about electric vehicles, is not about a competition about that, but just towing a trailer was the Cybertruck. People would tow these massive trailers behind it. Now, there's talk of bumpers ripping off, but once again, it is what it is. As far as people saying towing, they've towed massive, I think like a 36-foot trailer or something insane, and uphill, up mountain. It said they couldn't even felt like they weren't even towing anything. So make sure you get something that is a truck that's just really good at towing. And you don't have to get an electric truck. Majority of stuff towed is towed with an ICE vehicle. So internal combustion engine vehicle, gas vehicle. So you do not need an electric vehicle. Just mentioning that to say get something that tows well. And you could just Google the towing capacity and the tow packages of any truck. I've even seen people pull them with SUVs, have like some big SUV, Expedition or Escalade or just Suburban or whatever, that had a, hitch, and I don't know if they had a nice tow package in it or whatever, but they had a hitch and they hitched that joker up. Now, it wasn't some big, massive trailer, but some of these are 16-foot trailers, maybe 18-footers towed by a SUV. So something to think about. And as always, consult your municipality. Something else to ask is your warranty. On the trailer itself, on the axles, on the tires, the warranty on any appliances, making sure the appliances. I've seen people build trailers and manufacturers, and they put gear in there, and I've kind of told this story before, gear in the trailer that's not warranted by the trailer, which there's this company, I can't remember the name of it, but it was called American something, and we used to love to use them, and then all of a sudden they didn't warranty their cooktops and fryers and stuff, their appliances in trailers anymore, maybe because when the trailer would bounce around down the road, it would mess them up, so they just stopped warranting them. Well, guess what would happen? We stopped selling them, but a lot of other manufacturers kept selling them. They were at the price point they wanted, and I guess they already had a supply chain with them, so they kept selling them. Even though their customers, the minute something broke, if it broke a month later or 8 months later, technically it should have still been under warranty, but they tell them, hey, man, it's in a food truck. And they go, nope, not going to warranty it. And the manufacturers kept putting them in there. So get the appliances that are going to be in there, or tell them the appliances that you want in there. All right. Of course, you could operate manual, owner manual. You can get all that stuff. So this is a funny one. Cargo versus concession. Super, super funny. This is a super funny one because people try to convert cargo trailers into concession trailers, and they're just not designed for that. And then wood paneling, you have to cover it up with, some type of ATP or some type of diamond tread plate or aluminum tread plate, or just aluminum, or some type of this little white, almost like corrugated plastic type deal. But they normally just don't hold up as well. And you want to make sure stuff is wind and watertight, and make sure the welds are good. So if that's, but cargo trailer, trying to convert it is the same as basically home built. So you just want to be careful when you do that stuff. And I wouldn't recommend it. I believe in just buying what you want. Cry once, this costs a lot of money. Cry about it, kick scream about it, and then look at it like, hey, well, I invested in my business. Anytime I've bought cheaply, I've pretty much 100% of the time regretted it. So don't buy cheap. Like, well, I want to cut corners. Find a way to get it done without cutting corners. All right. Make sure that your CAD, number of time when you get your CAD, they require a deposit to order. It might be 50% down or something like that. Make sure you get every piece of warranty information in writing. Also, make sure the place is a good place. Make sure the place is, I'm not in that business anymore, but I still get people saying, hey, man, can you design this, build this for me? Make sure that you get what you want in writing. And I'm out of that business, so I don't do it. But I have a good name, so people still want me to help. But I'm telling you, get what you want to get in writing. Ask for all your estimates in writing. Ask for all promises in writing. Ask for estimated build time in writing. Ask for cancellation information in writing. Noticing the theme here? Noticing the theme? Give somebody $30,000, you might want to have some things in writing, right? Ask for your deposit receipt, things that seem simple, but get that stuff, get it all in writing. Get it in writing. Everything in. I want it in writing, because writing protects not just you, it protects them, right? Because, I know I've gone to places, I'm sure you have too, and they're like, oh, that's not our policy, we don't do this. And then they look on your paperwork and they go, huh? Hey, here it is right here, right? So it protects them from making a mistake. So get it in writing to help them out. And of course, to make sure everybody's clear on what is and is not covered and is not being done. I had somebody approve a food trailer that was probably $20,000, $30,000. I think it was just a trailer. No, I think she did get all of the stuff inside of it. So she might have paid $60,000 for this trailer and ordered it in the wrong color. Yep. We had talked about it being one color, and then we CAD'd it another color. And we make everybody approve the CADs. And she approved the CAD in yellow. In yellow. So she got it, and it was in yellow. And she was like, I wanted it in red. And I was just like, well, you approved the CAD in yellow. You signed off on the CAD in yellow, which is why we get paperwork for everything. Because people will come in, and this is the only time this has ever happened in years and years. But and we had a wrap guy. So she ended up leaning into the yellow and doing yellow and purple. And it came out actually gorgeous. She was very pleased, and I thought it was beautiful. So she ended up paying, I think, for a partial wrap or something. But get everything in yellow, because you sit down and talk to somebody, you talk about it a lot. Like, oh man, I love it to be this tall, 7 foot tall, 7.5 foot tall. I love it to be red and with fire coming out of the bottom. Oh, no, it could be blue. And you talk about a whole lot of stuff, and then you forget where you land. So you want it in writing to protect them, and you want it in writing to solidify, hey, this is what I want. I know we talked about purple, we talked about yellow, we talked about this, but let me sign off on something that says yellow or blue or whatever. All right, so let's talk about choosing the platform. The platform will be, of course, there's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Medium for those that are doing blogs, Reddit, Pinterest, TikTok, and Lemonade, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. The key point here is not to be on a specific platform. Really, the key is to be on them all and creating content unique to each one. Medium, I don't know. If people are still checking blogs as much, but they probably still are. Reddit, I don't know how much that. Well, people I know still use Reddit a lot. Pinterest, taking pictures of your food. So, spend some time in the marketing side of it. Spend some time in the marketing side of it. Now, if you're just parked somewhere that gets 20,000 people walk by you every day, then you might not need to market at all. But if that's not the case, start building your brand. And even if that is the case, once again, we talk about places changing and places leaving and places deciding to, the city starts moving north or east or west. I'm from Baton Rouge, and the city started to move after all of the floods and hurricanes. They started to move southeast to the Blue Mountain area. So that left a lot of the city of Baton Rouge kind of, empty. That's not so good. And if you have no brand, that's going to be rough for you. If you're used to all of the foot traffic and then you don't have any foot traffic anymore and you hadn't spent those years to build up your business, like your branding, that's going to be rough. So realize, don't think like a chef. Think like a CEO. Think like a CEO. Invest time into just branding and not just running your business. Make time for what's actually important and not just what's urgent. So go ahead and put that in the chat. I'm going to think like a CEO, not a chef. I'm going to think like a CEO, not a chef. I'm going to think like a CEO, not a chef. Go ahead and put that in the chat. And creating a presence online is bigger than going to, it used to be going to a person or going to some graphic platform, or now it's going to AI and just creating a logo. It's bigger than just making a logo and a slogan. Those are important. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Y'all know I'm from Louisiana, right? Great slogan. I'm loving it, right? Nike, just do it, right? It's bigger than creating a logo and a slogan. Much, much bigger than that. Bigger than having a motto. Much bigger than that. All right. Building an audience. One thing you want your audience to know is the hours you're open. I want to know, hey, I'm open from this time to this time. And since you're a food truck don't always open at the same time at the same place. Some people might be, hey, every Tuesday I'm at the farmer's market from 11 to 4. Every Monday I'm downtown on 3rd and 2nd Ave, or whatever. 3rd and Main. Every Saturday I'm parked blah, 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 blah. So let them know, hey, and this is my operating hours. These are my locations, especially if you're not just at the same place every time. Luckily, my little seafood place I love downtown, food truck there at the same place every time. If you're running happy hour specials, put that stuff on your social media. Maybe put it on, on the side of your truck as vinyl or magnet or whatever. Like, hey, we run these specials, half off crab every, between 11 and 2 or whatever. Value added information makes you different. So we've been talking a whole lot about funnels in our AI class and talking about how to do value added information. If you're not in the AI class, it's a great class to take. We're opening up the online cohort this month. But it's, we want to make sure you're doing value added information. What makes you different? All right. Keep your existing audience engaged. Post consistently 2 or more times a week. Offer coupons. We talk about this in, I think we may have talked about this because this is an entrepreneurship course, so it's in essence a business course. And we talked about it in AI for Business, which is also a business course. But you want to add value, and then you want to offer coupons. Get lifetime LTV. What's lifetime value? If you know what it is, go ahead and put it in the chat. You're going to get a thumbs up. If you know what it is, throw it in the chat. Lifetime value. As I drink some water here that my wife made me. But what is lifetime value? Lifetime value is how much money that customer is worth. We're talking about running a business. If your average ticket is $20 and your average customer stays with you for 3 years and they come once a week, what is their lifetime value? If your average ticket is $20, the average customer remains a customer for 3 years, and they come once a week, what is the lifetime value of that customer? I need you to do some math. You want to run a business, you need to know how to do math. Your average ticket is $20. Your average customer comes once a week, and they remain a loyal customer for a minimum of 3 years. What is their lifetime value? Well, we got to do some math. If the average ticket says $20, you sell a burger, fry, and a drink and a piece of cake, and it's $20, right? And the average customer, your average customer comes once a week. That means that customer spends $20 a week with you, right? There is 52 weeks in a year, right? So 52 times 2. What do we have there? So now, and you time that, multiply that times 3. So what do we have? Do the math. So you have it. Someone has it. Someone put 3120. There you go. So you're looking at 1,040 a year. That's right, Amberlet. So what is it after 3 years? 3,120. That's right, Francisco. So the lifetime value of your average customer is $3,120. So that means every customer is worth to you $3,120. So every new customer is worth to you $3,120. So you giving them a $10 coupon is worth it. Hey, I'm going to give you half off your first meal. That's why people do discounts and coupons. It makes sense. I'm going to give you half off of your first meal. So instead of paying $20, you pay $10. And people are like, oh, yeah, I'll come over there and get that for $10. Yeah, I'll come give you a try for $10. Right? And if that customer stays, you just made $3,110 minus the $10 investment you put in them, right? So it's worth $3,110. It's called lifetime value. This is how you make decisions, people. Right? This is how you make decisions. $3,110 is absolutely worth it. Okay? You know, running specials and happy hours and discounts, it gets people in the door, keeps people loyal. It's worth it. Think about how much money you spent at Walmart. If you're like the average American, tens of thousands of dollars. You think they're mad that if they roll back the prices, another slogan, they roll back the prices and they give you an 8% discount or something? Or they do and really Black Friday sales is, it's more to do with taxes than it is to do with helping people. At the end of the year, a lot of places charge tax. I was a facility director. I had to do that. I'd have to work out the taxes for the entire building. So we paid taxes here in Barrett County for every computer, every item in the entire medical facility, and we'd have to pay taxes on it. Well, if I sell all of the items and get rid of the items, guess what? I don't have to pay taxes on items I don't have, right? So it's a tax benefit normally to the business to sell out as much stuff before the end of the year comes as possible. So they have happy customers, lower taxes, because they'd rather give the money to the customer in the form of discounts than to give it to the government in the form of taxes. Happier customers makes their business better. Paying taxes makes the city better, but doesn't really affect their business, right? So, yeah, people fight. You know, I've had business initially go, man, I can't pay for marketing or running ads. I'm not doing so well. It's like, sir, the reason you're not doing well is because you're not paying for ads. You're not building new clienteles. You're unwilling to do discounts, ma'am, because you know everybody's gonna come and pay full price every time. Well, that's one of the reasons you're not growing. If your light LTV is $3,000 and you're not willing to spend $20 to make $3,000, then you're a poor business person. You're not thinking of the big picture. Another thing you do is offer prizes, free t-shirts, free gifts. Get that person in the door. Remember, every time you get a new customer, you make $3,000 in this scenario, right? Depending on your average ticket size, your average customer frequency, and how long they stay a customer with you. Maybe you'll keep them for their whole life or whatever until they move out of the area, however, right? So if you give away, every 3 people that come for the first time, you get 1, you still would be giving away $30 to make $3,120, and it just makes sense. Okay, moving on. Creating a menu. We've kind of talked about this. Broad is not always best. Broad is never best. Put that in. Broad is never best. Or you can put it, we don't want any definitives, right? We live in a world that doesn't like commitment. So you can just put in broad is not always best. Type that in the chat. Broad is not always best. Broad is not always best. Broad is not always best. I don't know if we're going to have time for the test today, guys. Try not to cry. So broad is not always best. And you heard me get on my soapbox earlier about this. Be great at something. Don't be good at it. Be great at it. Don't be good at it. Be great at it. Broad is not always best. Be great at something. Be niche. Be the chicken place. Be the burger place. Be the fill in the blank place. Be the date night place. Be the kid friendly place. Be the fill in the blank. If you can't fill in the blank, that's probably why you're not growing. Broad is not always best. Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank for your business right now. You are the what place? Type that in the chat. You are the what place? I am the friendly place. I am the whatever. I am the kid place. I am the burger place. I am the chicken place. I am the what place? Amberly put in, I am the shy place. That is hilarious. So you're a place for shy people. You'll social distance all the chairs. Everybody can come and be sad. All right. Francisco says, I am the comfort place. Okay. Francisco, how are you going to lean into comfort? Big, fluffy chairs. Okay. Margaret said, I am the flavor place. Okay. Maybe big, bold flavors. They know when they come there, they're going to get this big, robust flavors. Jada says, I am the cultural place. Okay. I like it, guys. Good stuff. All right. Menu maintenance. Be consistent. Have quality. Presentation. Vary menu items. Build your brand. Specific items. We kind of talked about this. Specific feel. Nuevo high-end foods. Like, hey, we have this. We're chic high-end foods. We are, chic. We are all organic foods, right? We are the organic place. We are the expensive place. Like, hey, man, you go over there, you're going to spend a lot of money. And they realize, all right, well, if I want to do something high-end or impress some clients, I'm going over there. They're the high-end place. They are the organic place. They are the dog-friendly place. Think of, what's the name of that place downtown where you can bring your dogs in? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Downtown, I think it's off of, what's the name of the road? I forget, but they're known for being able to, you just bring they have stuff where kids can play. You can bring your dog, and it's cool. So everybody has their dog there. Kids are playing. It's a cool little place. They're the family place or the dog friendly place, right? And when in doubt, be flexible. If you don't know what your identity is, be open to the friendly spot. That's right. Thank you, Amberly. Thank you, Margaret. The friendly spot. And there you and it's kind of in their name, right? We're the friendly spot. Bring your family, bring your dog. We're dog friendly, we're family friendly, and bada bing. I like it. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. Let you guys get up and go use the restroom, do what you got to do, and 10:31. Oh, let's take 4 minutes because you're already at the house. You can just walk up and go to your restroom. So 10:31. Let's be back at 10:34.
What if the next 12 months could completely change your income, your skills, and your confidence without student debt? Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, GSE, where excellence begins. If you're watching this right now, you're in the right place. This live stream is part of what we do at GSE, real teaching, real skills, and real-world training that helps you grow. So before class begins, do 3 quick things for me. Subscribe to this channel, like this stream, and share it with one person who's trying to level up. GSE is a skill-based technical school built for everyday people. People with jobs, families, responsibilities, and big dreams. Our mission is simple: to bring what feels like an insurmountably expensive education to the everyday person at affordable rates with zero debt. And to graduate students who are day one ready. That means when you finish here, you're holding skills you can use immediately in the workplace. At GSE, we train in areas that actually move the needle financially, skills that employers pay for and entrepreneurs use to build income. Here are a few of the core tracks we teach: coding and development, Python; build real projects, learn automation, and develop job-ready programming skills. AI for business. Learn how to use modern AI tools to create content, build funnels, automate workflows, and increase profit. Food truck entrepreneurship. Learn how to plan, price, design, and launch a food truck business the smart way. Audio/video engineering. Learn the skills behind live streaming, recording, editing, and production for real environments. And the goal is always the same: skill plus application equals transformation. GSE is for the person starting over, the person tired of living check to check, the person who knows they're gifted but needs structure, the person who's ready to stop watching other people win and start building. Whether you're in Texas, somewhere else in the US, or across the world. Our cohorts are online, which means your location doesn't disqualify you. If you can learn, apply, and stay consistent, you belong here. What makes GSE different isn't just the classes, it's the culture. We don't hand out participation certificates. We believe in earned excellence. We build students who can actually do something, not just talk about it. This is a place where you get challenged, supported, and equipped. If you want to enroll, apply for a scholarship, or learn more, go to the GSE website and fill out the application. This is your sign to step in. And if you're here because you heard about scholarships, yes, we do scholarship opportunities, and we're always looking for students who are serious. All right, class is about to begin. Subscribe, like, and share. Apply on the GSE website. Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, where excellence begins. Let's get into today's class. What if the next 12 months could completely change your income, your skills, and your confidence without student debt? Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, GSE, where excellence begins. If you're watching this right now, you're in the right place. This live stream is part of what we do at GSE, real teaching, real skills, and real-world training that helps you grow. So before class begins, do 3 quick things for me. Subscribe to this channel, like this stream, and share it with one person who's trying to level up. GSE is a skill-based technical school built for everyday people. People with jobs, families, responsibilities, and big dreams. Our mission is simple: to bring what feels like an insurmountably expensive education to the everyday person at affordable rates with zero debt, and to graduate students who are day one ready. That means when you finish here, you're holding skills you can use immediately in the workplace. At GSE, we train in areas that actually move the needle financially, skills that employers pay for and entrepreneurs use to build income. Here are a few of the core tracks we teach: coding and development, Python; build real projects, learn automation, and develop job ready programming skills. AI for business. Learn how to use modern AI tools to create content, build funnels, automate workflows, and increase profit. Food truck entrepreneurship. Learn how to plan, price, design, and launch a food truck business the smart way. Audio/video engineering. Learn the skills behind live streaming, recording, editing, and production for real environments. And the goal is always the same: skill plus application equals transformation. GSE is for the person starting over, the person tired of living check to check, the person who knows they're gifted but needs structure, the person who's ready to stop watching other people win and start building. Whether you're in Texas, somewhere else in the US, or across the world, our cohorts are online, which means your location doesn't disqualify you. If you can learn, apply, and stay consistent, you belong here. What makes GSE different isn't just the classes, it's the culture. We don't hand out participation certificates. We believe in earned excellence. We build students who can actually do something, not just talk about it. This is a place where you get challenged, supported, and equipped. If you want to enroll, apply for a scholarship, or learn more, go to the GSE website and fill out the application. This is your sign to step in. And if you're here because you heard about scholarships, yes, we do scholarship opportunities, and we're always looking for students who are serious. All right, class is about to begin. Subscribe, like, and share. Apply on the GSE website. Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, where excellence begins. Let's get into today's class.
All righty. Let's go ahead and get back into it. Go ahead and just type your name in the chat. And we're going to jump back in and type in something that you just learned so far. Go ahead and just type in something that you learned so far that you are just happy that, well, this is a review, but something that you're happy that we're reviewing right now. Or something that maybe you forgot and you're like, man, I forgot all about that. So go ahead and put your name in the chat. And then something that you're happy we're reviewing, something that maybe you lost or forgot about. And you're like, man, that's really, really interesting. I'm so glad that we reviewed that. As I keep setting up our slides here. I see you. So, yeah, put your name in and then something that you're happy we reviewed. All right. Absolutely perfect. Wonderful. All right. Okay. Great refresher. I like it. Okay. I learned that being great at a handful of things, I think is better than being good. Yeah, it's better than being good at 500 things. Absolutely. Floor plans, Got to have a floor plan. We hadn't gone over that today, but we have gone over that in the last couple of weeks. Think like a CEO. That's probably my favorite. Think like a CEO, not like a chef. I just can't. I just can't talk about that enough. Think like a CEO, not like a chef. It is going to be remarkably critical to make sure you think like a CEO and not like a chef. If you think like a chef, you're going to be worried about food and cooking and recipes, and you should, but you're not worried about them from from the point of, hey, I want to cook and I want to make great stuff, which is great, but you're thinking about it more like, what are my customers going to love? What is going to build this business? What is great for the area? What is great? What brand am I trying to create? What can scale? What will be profitable? So you're not just making good food. You're not like grandma. I just want to make good food for my babies to love. You're more like, I want to make good food for my customers to love so I can build this brand so that they love my product, that they become loyal. So it's just different, right? So, okay, we're going to go back in. I had to change the name of the post because I think I put Pro Tools. That is AV in the next class, and I put Pro Tools. And I know people are like, Pro Tools? No, this is Food Truck. Sorry. Didn't mean to put Pro Tools. My bads. But I think I've corrected the name, so we're good to go. Okay, let's hop back into it, shall we? Okay. So, now that I've corrected the name, street parking. So, places to park. Yeah, street parking, shopping centers, and office buildings. All great places to park. Street parking, shopping centers, office buildings, anywhere with people that need to eat. So anywhere with people that need to eat is going to be a wonderful place to park. So anywhere with people that need to eat is going to be an absolute wonderful place to park. Places with foot traffic, so near busy areas, downtown, construction sites, military bases. We allow food trucks on military bases. I've passed by some. I've talked to my guy off of the Southwest Military, or no, W.W. White. Chapman, Mr. Chapman from Chapman's Chicken had his trailer on a food on a military base. So yeah, you can get them on military bases, anywhere where there's a lot of people. You want exposure to interstates, frontage roads, shopping malls. I've even seen them in front of Pep Boys, and I mean, y'all seen them everywhere, right? There's food truck parks, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. Big parking lots with a lot of traffic. I've seen them in parking lots with no traffic, and people are coming there specifically for the food trucks. I've seen them park in front of a Pep Boys, and they'd have like 5 or 6 food trucks there, and they're making their own kind of like food truck park in that Pep Boys parking lot. And I guess their Pep Boys is cool with it. So, yeah. And think about time of day. You're a business person now, right? So you got to think like a business person. Time of day. Is it going to be good to park, in this back alley, which is popping at noon because there's a lot of foot traffic downtown, but do I want to be parked here at nighttime when it might be a little sketchy, right? So think of time of day. Oh, do I want to be here at nighttime? Maybe I want to be here at nighttime because there's the club scene, and there's going to be thousands of people down here clubbing, and they're, drunk clubbers buy food too. They buy tacos too, right? So you're thinking like a business person. But also, if my staff is, men, they're probably better than if my staff are young high school girls, right? Do I want them out at midnight or getting off at midnight in this club scene type thing? So you're a business owner. You got to think about the safety of your staff. You got to think about the location. You got to think about what's good for business and your brand. If you're a Christian brand working the club scene, That could be great because it gives an opportunity to evangelize, or it could be bad because it looks like, you're capitalizing on drugs and alcohol, and you're supposed to be against that, depending on how you look at it. If you're passing out burgers and prayer and pamphlets, that might be perfect. That might be on brand, right? But if you're just cashing in on the money, it might be off brand, right? So you got to think about it. If you're a cowboy western, type, brand deal, think about a Dick's Sporting Goods. They might not be paired well with some place that is, like anti-athleticism or demasculinity or whatever, right? So you have to think bigger than the food on the dish. And what are you near? What, if I'm once again near a construction site or a military base, that makes a big difference. So partnering with nearby businesses, office buildings, it's a great place to be. Employees have to eat. And they may not be able to leave. May only have 30 minutes. That's a good thing. Francisco says, I've been the Pep Boys. Buy once, cry once is a good thing to learn. Jada says she likes the food trucks on St. Mary's. Oh, that's good stuff. So employees have to eat. So think about where you are. Employees are normally in a rush. Like if you go park at a big office park or the hospitals, all the nurses come out and they flood the streets and they have like 20 minutes to eat, 30 minutes to eat. The doctors don't want to eat the same cafeteria food. So being parked at between like 10 and 2 probably is a win, right? Employees can be a dedicated customer base, especially if you're consistently there. They know every Tuesday, Marco's Pizzas is downstairs. And you let them know that the first Tuesday you're there, you're like, hey, man, every Tuesday we're going to be out here. Matter of fact, come back next Tuesday, pizza's on me. Tell everybody, next Tuesday, pizza's on me. Hey, every Tuesday we're going to start coming out here and, hey, tell every customer you get, let everybody know next Tuesday. And then next Tuesday, you burn through $1,000 worth of pizza. You go, and it might sound, yikes, why would I come out here and I burn through all of my profit? I burned through $1,000 worth of pizza, feeding this entire medical center, right? And you're letting them know every time you hand them, you're not giving them pizza to give them pizza. You're like, hey, you make them repeat after. You guys don't know, man. I'm a marketing guy. I'll joke with them. Hey, man, so glad you're here. You ready for the best pizza in the world? Yeah. Hey, man, every Tuesday, where are you going to be? I'll be right here at your food truck. Great. And I'm going to tell that every single customer. And I'm going to joke with them. I'll tell the same joke. They never heard it. The next guy, comes up. Hey, man, where are you going to be every Tuesday? Oh, yeah, man, I'm going to be right here every Tuesday, right? And I'm going to burn it in their brain. So $1,000 investment, right? But if I pick up 100 faithful customers every Tuesday, or 100 folks, and every Tuesday 50 of them come, average ticket $20. I made that $1,000 back the next Tuesday, and if I'm there for the next 5 years, that 1,000 investment has made me 100,000 plus bucks, right? So think business, think CEO, not chef, right? Think CEO, not chef. Think big, long-time value, long-time interest, not quick buck. Employees have to eat. Employees are normally in a rush. Employees are dedicated customer base. Have set days and hours. Once again, every Tuesday, guys, I'm here 10 to 2, right? And be faithful. Don't have them come down there on a Tuesday and you're not there, right? I mean, things happen, but you want them to be reliable because then they'll tell people, hey, man, Tuesday, come here. I've made the mistake of missing like one Thursday somewhere, and then I start getting texts, hey, you going to be here? It's like, dude, for years, we've been faithful to Thursdays. And I'm not talking about with food truck or advising folks or whatever, but something else that I had going on Thursdays, and we missed a Thursday and start getting calls. Like, hey, man, are we going to have, we meeting this Thursday? Like, yeah, dude, we meet every Thursday at 7. Why wouldn't we meet this Thursday, right? All right, military bases, business parks, construction fields, kind of talked about that. Maybe isolated from other food options. May have limited time, talking about the staff, may have limited resources. I remember I was been on a military base and they had this food truck just driving around the military base. I mean, just driving. I was in Sparta, Wisconsin, I believe. I was stationed out there doing moulage and a military exercise, a NATO mission for medical nurses and doctors from different countries and all this really cool NATO mission. And, guys driving around, he just pulls up and everybody slams him. Like, because we're stuck there, right? We're stuck there, and everybody just slammed this dude. And so he had Gatorade, he had things that you could buy, because we're stuck in there for hours in a big old warehouse preparing all of these, mannequins and not animatronic, but mechanic bodies with different wounds on them for them to operate on and practice on. Like, bro, this guy pulled up one stop and he was good. So know your area. If you're somewhere hot, have some cold drinks and Gatorade. That'll be such a missed opportunity, such a wasted opportunity. You're somewhere hot and, people are working and you're like, oh, I ran out of ice water. You what? Right? So, yeah, be prepared and think ahead is what I'm saying. Think ahead. Have easy to eat foods, especially if you're going to go somewhere where people are just trying to grab and go. You don't want to have things that they can't walk away and eat while they're walking, right? So having like pasta and Italian food that you need forks and, kind of is messy, you need to sit down and eat, might not be the best on a military base if you're pulling up. Now, if you're just kind of parked in front of the mall or something, or parked in front of like the commissary, that might work. But if you're like going out in the field, right, where operations are going on, you want burgers, hot dogs, tacos, right? Something that somebody can grab, maybe stuff in their pocket, eat at their leisure, or as they're walking away, scarf down, throwing their gullet, right? Because they just don't have time. They don't have time to sit down and, maybe not even time to wash their hands, right? So if you have that taco in foil, they can just kind of peel back the foil, expose the taco, and take a bite. You just really got to think these things through. Think what your customer really needs, because you won't always be, depending on what you're selling, you won't always be somewhere that's so sit down, ready, but on the opposite end of that spectrum, maybe you're trying to go more, hot dogs would be a great one, Amberly, but say you're trying to go more upscale and you want it to be more like if you're selling seafood, that is something you absolutely have to sit down, because there's normally juices and, if you're being like I'm talking about like a boil. Your seafood boil, that's crab legs and there's juices, and that's something like you're not going to walk away, and eat while you walk. You're not chewing on a crab leg as you're walking down the street with juices falling all over your shirt and the hands all sloppy and messy, right? So that's the opposite. That these people are going to have to go to a table and sit down, have napkins, have those little like wet wipey things for their hands, have plastic. I'm someone that loves the plastic gloves because once again, seafood. That seafood gets in your hands, and you can wash it 15 times with lemon, and it's not coming out, right? So I use the little plastic, clear through, lightweight, barely touch them, they rip gloves, right? So, and I love the places like SAT Asian, they throw them in there, and they take care of you so well, and they think of everything, think of the processes through. So, this person on the other end of the spectrum is going to have to sit down somewhere. They're going to need to be able to clean themselves up. They're going to need maybe a bib, some blah, 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 and they include all of that stuff in. So when you get it, you feel very well taken care of. So just think through the process from the customer, the other side of the POS system, right? Oil fields often have vouchers, so they're getting $30 a day to eat. So then you could just accept vouchers and just make, oh my goodness, these cats in the oil fields, they buy houses. You know what I'm saying? Like when they leave the oil fields, it's just like ridiculous. So thinking about things is what I'm saying. Be prepared to go somewhere and squat. Like if, going back to military base, if the CEO wants to give them lunch at 10, he can. But if they're in the middle of it and they don't get lunch till 2, it is what it is, right? So he's going to give them all a lunch, but when he gives them that lunch, is that his prerogative? And they're in the absolute middle of something, then it is what it is, right? So think about that. Be prepared to sit and squat. Like if it's going to be a payday. Now don't sit and squat somewhere and you're not sure there's a payday and you can waste your day. But if you're pretty sure there's a payday, or the odds are better of sitting there and waiting than just trying to go find somewhere else because you don't have a plan B. So you just got to think. You have to think these things through. Weigh out your options. Other places to go, farmers markets are great places, high foot traffic, seasonal areas, right? Places patrons are going for food. Food truck parks is clearly a good one, right? Try to incorporate healthy local options. If you're going to a farmer's market, right? They might not want something greasy or something nasty. I see Jada says they always have bibs, gloves, wipes. Most seafood trucks I've been to, yeah, exactly. You want to think about that stuff. And if you're parked at a farmer's market, they may not want greasy, nasty food. Normally, people going to a farmer's market are a little bit healthier, right? So if I'm a park, that goes back to the earlier slide about thinking about what you're doing and partnering, right? If I'm going to a seafood or farmer's market, I might want to sell something a little healthier. I may want to sell something that's organic. I may want to sell fresh vegetables, like as part of my thing, whatever I'm selling. So either way, just think about where you are. You're not going to sell the same thing 2 a.m. outside of a nightclub that you'd sell at a farmer's market, right? So guess what? The nightclub scene might not be your best fit, or the farmer's market. So think about, hey, I sell this, and where will this go over well? And it's okay to experiment. Hey, you sell greasy tacos, go to the farmer's market. Some they might be like, hey, man, we want some greasy tacos today. We're tired of eating healthy, right? So experiment. Some things, you may learn something that's a little more unusual. But all in all, you want to think about where you're going. Make sure it pairs well. So food truck parks, which is, if you're not familiar with what a food truck park is literally a park for food trucks. So you can go one place and it's, like 10 food trucks there, right? Or 7 food trucks there selling different things. And normally they'll have a place for like kids to play, and they've really built it out as a fun place to sit. And, normally there's a bar area where you can grab drinks if the food trucks don't sell drinks, all of that good stuff, right? But if you're going to park your food truck there, then one thing to know is simply that, hey, there's normally a cost. So if I'm paying, I don't know, $240 a week, $500 a week, whatever, $700 a week, whatever the weekly cost is, $1,000 a week, who knows? You got to make sure that, hey, I'm building, going to make enough to pay this weekly amount with profit. And normally the reason people do food truck parks is because they don't have to advertise. You don't have to build your brand. You don't have to really advertise. You want to. But the food truck park is bringing in the people. Like, that's what you're paying the money for to them every week or every month. They're bringing in the people. Because if they're not, then their clients are not the people. Their clients are the food trucks, right? The food trucks pay, if they're pulling $1,000 from every food truck and there's, 10 food trucks there, that's $10,000. They want to keep that money flowing. Their clientele isn't necessarily the customers, even though the food truck park normally has a bar that sells alcohol and drinks, right? So they're making money from the drinks and, but their big customers are the food trucks. If there were no food trucks, there'd be no food truck park, right? So they want to make sure that they're bringing in customers, that they're doing events, that they're doing things that bring in the flow of customers to feed their food trucks. That way their food trucks stay and their food trucks are happy, right? So, and by the same token, when you're at a park, you got to make sure that the flow of people is really good so that you make money to make it worth you being there. Another convenience of a food truck park is a lot of times they have wired electricity, so you're not running a generator, right? They have wired plumbing. They often have a place for you to dump your gray water. They may have a place for you to dump your oil. So they just become remarkably convenient. You're not trying to find a place to dump your gray water. You're not trying to find a place that'll take your old oil if you fry things. You're not running a generator and paying for propane or running a generator or gas or trying to work out an electric option or whatever. Normally a food truck park is thinking about its food trucks, and everything there is wired. So it's just like, boom, plug and play. And you're like, man, this is so great. So it makes it easy for you. They're going to bring in the customers, and all you got to do is just pay your rent and you're good. Okay. So another thing to think about. So guarantee potential customers, tables and benches, repeat business. People go, hey, every Friday I go take my kids out here to play on the playgrounds, and I grab me something from the food trucks. Bathrooms, right? If you didn't build your food truck with a bathroom, like in your Vinos or something, then it has a bathroom, and that's always good. Good for your customers and good for your employees and good for you if you're a solo dolo. Another place to park is event parking. Concerts, conferences, sporting events. There's going to be thousands of folks there, right? Hungry people, limited options, so once again, have quick and carry. If they're at a baseball game, they're not trying to hang out in the food truck. They're not trying to stay in line forever. The lines are going to be long because there's so many people, but keep them lines rolling. Have things that are pre-wrapped and modify your menu. If you know that you're going to a sporting event, modify your menu. You're the person that makes pasta, fine. Make a pasta bowl, pre-wrapped pasta bowl, and then of course you could jack your prices up because it's an event that now pre-wrapped, $8 pasta bowl is now $16, right? And they spend you $16 and boom, you hand them the pre-wrapped pasta bowl, a drink, and it's pre-wrapped with a fork, spoon, napkin, everything you need to go. And boom, now you're able to get them cats in and out and serve a lot of people quickly. So you have a long line, but you're making, higher costs because you've raised the price up, right? And you're going to see a whole lot more people. Boom, 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 boom. You get, that line, and people will come. They see your line is moving, right? Think about it. I'm going to have somebody taken. I'm going to have all of this stuff pre-packaged, pre-wrapped, right? They're going to come in. The person's taking the money. Hey, give me number 3. And number 3 is a pre-wrapped pasta bowl with this. Number 2 is a pre-wrapped hot dog with fry with this, whatever, right? And it's good, and boom, you keeping that line rolling. Someone's taking the orders and calling out what you need. Someone's grabbing the stuff, and maybe you have an extra set of hands that's cleaning everything up as it goes, so it always looks clean. It's nice, right? And it could be an extra hand. Someone needs to go to the restroom, they could fill in for them or whatever. So you keep that thing rolling. Prepare to have extra staff. Prepare to have things that are pre-wrapped that can easily go in. That way, with 100 people in front of you, not the time to try to hand make everything directly, right? You need to be able to make this stuff quick and have it roll, right? So know what you serve and be okay to modify your menu. Say, hey, have a special 4-item menu just for this event so that you can pack your truck with your limited space with those 4 items, right? Maybe you have a 10-item menu, but for this event, you go, hey, we're going to just do these 4 items because they're easy to get in and out, right? So you just got to think about that. You got to think about that. And think about where you're going. Just a little forethought. It's a good time to promote catering. You have all those people there. Now, if they're coming in from out of town, obviously they're coming in to see NASCAR or whatever. Catering, they're going back to wherever their place. But some of them may be local, so you can still promote your catering. But be fast. Be fast. Super, super fast. They're coming out because it's halftime or because of whatever. Be quick. We talked about nightclubs, tons of people, more liberal spenders, have quick hand carry, hungry people, limited options, bathrooms. I never even really thought about nightclubs until somebody came in and said, yeah, we just do nightclubs. We sell food at nightclubs, and it worked. I don't know if I was to ever own and operate a food truck, I probably wouldn't do nightclubs just because of clientele, just because it's late at night and I like to sleep. But for this guy, it worked for him. So I included it. All right, schools, large amounts of students and teachers. A lot of times they prefer food trucks over just the kind of cafeteria food. Like a hospital, they're like, we'd rather food from outside. Quick word of mouth. Good time to promote catering as well. Matter of fact, go ahead and type catering in the chat. Go ahead and type that in the chat. Catering options. Think catering. Type that in the chat. Let me see who's still rocking with me. Type that in the chat. Catering. All right. Gas stations. Tons of people. A lot of trucks park at gas stations. Gas stations can be tight spenders, so you got to think about that. Another place you want to have quick hand carry. Hungry people, often limited options. There's not normally a whole lot of options. You got gas station food. So if you have a food truck out there that's actually decent, then you're good. And then another thing is gas stations have bathrooms. And there's often laws with food trucks that you have to be near a restroom because your employees have to use the bathroom and wash their hands. They can't go pee in the woods and then come back and cook somebody's food, right? And yes, you have a 3-compartment sink and a hand wash sink, but you shouldn't be washing, bathroom hands in the same place you prepare food, right? So he's like, well, I got a hand wash sink. Yeah, and you should be washing your hands frequently, but they don't want It's the difference between tomato sauce being on your hands and bathroom sauce being on your hands, right? So they want you to have a restroom where you can go and probably use the restroom and clean up. And then after you wash your hands in your restroom at the gas station or wherever you parked, you're still going to need to come back into the truck and do what? Wash your hands. So you're going to come back in the truck because what? You wash your hands in the bathroom at the gas station or wherever you were, but then you need to come back in. You've touched the door of the bathroom. You've touched the door to get out of the gas station or out of wherever you are. You touch the door to get into your food truck, right? And before you touch somebody's food, you need to wash your hands again. Okay. All right. Customer relations. You don't have customers, you have friends, right? To make a friend, you need to first be a friend. So always smile. Always simulate chat. Don't, hey, buddy, how's the weather? Smile, be friendly, talk to them. Tell them, if nothing else, you could just tell them about, hey, guy, since you're here while I'm making your food, let me just tell you about how long we've been here, why we have a passion for the food, why we, talk to them. That's valuable time that you could be making them a good customer, right? Handling requests. This is always a good one. People that don't know how to handle requests mess their business up. So just because somebody requests an item doesn't mean you have to add it on. Somebody requests an item be removed doesn't mean you have to remove it. Someone requests that you park on a different side of town doesn't mean you need to try it, right? Remember, you're going to deal with hundreds of people. If one person says, hey, man, stop, adding mustard to your sauce or whatever, you're like, all right, I'll take that in consideration. Now, if 20 people say it, you might want to have a mustardless option, compare the two, still run them both, and see if the mustardless option outsells the mustard option, right? And then based on that information, that data, make a change. But 1 or 2 people say, hey, man, stop adding mustard, and then you change the recipe, and the other 98% of people aren't thrilled, you've messed up, right? You've lost their trust. So a few requests don't constitute a menu change. Up or down, adding or taking away. Acknowledge every suggestion and say, hey, man, that's a great idea. Maybe I'll try that. And you can leave it right there. Maybe I'll try that. That's a great idea. Maybe I'll try that. And whether you try it or not, think about it. And maybe you want to try it. Maybe you don't. But acknowledge every concern. There's no way to make someone more angry than to just blow off their concerns. Hey, man, I remember going to a Papa John's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the guy was touching all his food, and he would touch this and touch that, and he was just kind of nasty, and I asked him to wash his hands. I was like, hey, man, not to be insulting, but can you wash your hands before you make my pizza, right? And he didn't. He didn't wash his hands. He just kept doing the deal. I was just like, well, I love Papa John's. I used to actually work at that Papa John's, and I know that's not the quality that they have, and I seriously thought about just making a complaint to Papa John's corporate because this guy was just a nasty dude. And now, I'm, teaching a course that people are going to hear talking about this experience at Papa John's. So you want to acknowledge every concern. You don't want to blow off someone's concern, and you also don't want to not instill quality into your people, especially when it comes to food. But when it comes to anything, instill quality, instill a sense of pride into your people. Instill a sense of pride into your people. We're not just here to cook food. We're here to change, the restaurant industry or make someone's day, right? Instill a sense of pride in what they do. All right, and then you can adjust the menu as necessary. All right, I think that is the review. I think that is the last one. All right, so that is the review, guys. We do not have, you're going to need at least an hour for the test. So we do not have time for you to take the test today, but be prepared to take the test next week. Since we do have a little bit of time, go ahead and throw any questions you have in the chat right now. Any questions you have, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and I'm going to try to answer it right now for you. So any question you have. All righty. Any questions you have, go ahead and throw it in right now. What am I good at cooking? When I did cook, and I don't cook a lot, that's a good question. But it was steaks. I made a really mean steak. Um, yep. Talking about investor survey, we did customer and investor survey. That's going to be a big grade um, last week. So make sure you get as many as you can, because every one you get is going to improve that grade. So. All righty. So I think I'm going to call it. Great class, you guys. You guys did so good. Wonderful job. And make sure you go through this. There's going to be a whole lot of cost analysis. We spent about a month just on cost of your items, sales price, food cost. A lot of the stuff that's not in the slides that we did in class. So make sure you go over all of that stuff. Okay. It's going to be your first big exam, so make sure that you are prepped for it. All right. Well, I will see you guys. You normally pray out, so somebody put a prayer in the chat, and I will see you guys next week. All right. Blessings. God bless you. Pray you have a blessed week. Put God first, and I will see you in class.
What if the next 12 months could completely change your income, your skills, and your confidence without student debt? Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, GSE, where excellence begins. If you're watching this right now, you're in the right place. This live stream is part of what we do at GSE: real teaching, real skills, and real-world training that helps you grow. So before class begins, do 3 quick things for me. Subscribe to this channel, like this stream, and share it with one person who's trying to level up. GSE is a skill-based technical school built for everyday people. People with jobs, families, responsibilities, and big dreams. Our mission is simple: to bring what feels like an insurmountably expensive education to the everyday person at affordable rates with zero debt. And to graduate students who are day one ready. That means when you finish here, you're holding skills you can use immediately in the workplace. At GSE, we train in areas that actually move the needle financially, skills that employers pay for and entrepreneurs use to build income. Here are a few of the core tracks we teach: coding and development, Python; build real projects, learn automation, and develop job-ready programming skills. AI for business. Learn how to use modern AI tools to create content, build funnels, automate workflows, and increase profit. Food truck entrepreneurship. Learn how to plan, price, design, and launch a food truck business the smart way. Audio/video engineering. Learn the skills behind live streaming, recording, editing, and production for real environments. And the goal is always the same: skill plus application equals transformation. GSE is for the person starting over, the person tired of living check to check, the person who knows they're gifted but needs structure, the person who's ready to stop watching other people win and start building. Whether you're in Texas, somewhere else in the US, or across the world. Our cohorts are online, which means your location doesn't disqualify you. If you can learn, apply, and stay consistent, you belong here. What makes GSE different isn't just the classes, it's the culture. We don't hand out participation certificates. We believe in earned excellence. We build students who can actually do something, not just talk about it. This is a place where you get challenged, supported, and equipped. If you want to enroll, apply for a scholarship, or learn more, go to the GSE website and fill out the application. This is your sign to step in. And if you're here because you heard about scholarships, yes, we do scholarship opportunities, and we're always looking for students who are serious. All right, class is about to begin. Subscribe, like, and share. Apply on the GSE website. Welcome to Griffin School of Excellence, where excellence begins. Let's get into today's class.